Jeremy Clarkson is back in the news today because he is absolutely fuming about Rachel Reeves' budget, and he has not kept quiet about it as a farmer who is very concerned about the future of farming in this country. Jeremy Clarkson rips apart Rachel Reeves' budget 2024 tax measures, which have been accused of fucking farmers and absolutely hopeless. This was one tweet that Jeremy put out. We have a new government. It's turning out to be hopeless. And he didn't stop there, ladies and gents. Rachel Reeves, I literally daren't comment. And he says, farmers, I know that you have been shafted today, but please don't despair. Just look after yourselves for 5 short years and this shower will be gone. So Jeremy Clarkson, he does not think that Keir Starmer and this Labour government with Rachel Reeves is going to last very long. We've seen the approval ratings of Keir Starmer absolutely plummeting. He could be on the way out before we know it, ladies and gents. So what is actually going on? What changes are we seeing? Well, it's about inheritance tax for farmers. This is why Jeremy Clarkson is so upset. Now, many of you will have watched Clarkson's Farm, and you will have seen on Clarkson's Farm how difficult it is for British farmers to make any money. I mean, it's absolutely bonkers just seeing experiment after experiment on the farm of Jeremy and Caleb trying to grow things and then making absolutely bugger all. I mean, he gets some sheep and then he shears the sheep to sell their wool and then finds out that a whole sheep's wool is only worth something like 50p. I mean, it is so hard for them to make money, and as much as I'm a believer in Brexit, he clearly shows on the show they lost a heck of a lot of subsidies during as a consequence of Brexit from the EU, and the government really hasn't done much to fill that hole. It's really, really a hard time for farmers, and then this budget is just another middle finger up to the people that feed this country, as it's been said before by many people, as we've seen on many placards and with the farmer protests. No farmers, no food. So, inheritance tax. Now, if you give your house to your children when you die, they might sell it. Good chance they're going to sell it and they'll pay some inheritance tax on it. But a farm, farms are passed on down through generations. You don't typically sell it. That's quite a rare thing to do. If you grow up on a farm as a kid, you learn to farm the farm, and then that becomes your job and your way of living as your parents then retire, and then you go on and pass that farm on to the next generation. So if you're suddenly slapped with a huge inheritance tax to pay, but you're not selling the farm, you've got to find that money somewhere. And as we've seen from watching Clarkson's Farm, and definitely watch it if you haven't because it's brilliant, a lot of farmers, they haven't really got any money to cough up to pay inheritance tax. Even if they are technically sitting on a load of expensive assets, money in their pockets, there ain't much of it. We're not going to have any food anymore being made in this country. We're going to have to ship it all in from abroad if the government just keeps on screwing over farmers. So, inheritance tax. So for assets over $1 million, inheritance tax will apply with 50% relief. Now, $1 million might sound like a lot of money, but farms, they've got a heck of a lot of fields. A lot of them are big. A lot of them are worth millions. But as I say, unless they are going to sell it, a lot of the farmers, even though they're sitting on all these assets, they haven't got money to cough up. So look at this. So the impact of the changes to inheritance tax means that from April 2026, a farm worth $2 million will have a £100,000 tax requirement to pay on the $1 million above the threshold. For every additional $1 million the farm is worth, a further £100,000 will be required to be paid in inheritance tax. Anyone here who has watched Clarkson's Farm will know that it's a pretty big ask to get a farmer to just find $100,000 out of nowhere. Where is that going to come from, huh? How do you expect farmers to survive when they're struggling enough as it is? When you say 100,000, 200,000 or whatever to pay for the inheritance tax on the farm, it is absolutely bonkers and completely unacceptable in my view. But you guys let me know in the comments, what do you think? Do you think that farmers should have to pay their fair share of inheritance tax like anyone passing down a house to their kids? Or do you think that they should be completely exempt because they are making the food that this country needs to eat? Let me know. I'm Chloe Dobbs. Thanks for watching this video. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel and I'll see you soon.